Good evening, folks, and welcome to episode 39 of the Monday Weekend Wrap-Up. World Cup next week. A lot of things to talk about. Big news this week is Cristiano Ronaldo. We'll be talking in depth about this situation. But first, let's introduce our guests for the evening. First, joining us from Columbus, Ohio, we have Mr. HoffSpur. HoffSpur, welcome in.
Hello, hello.
How you doing today?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. Is that the U.S. training kit, warm-up kit? Or
yes.
is it
Yeah, it's
nice.
the training top. I couldn't spend more money on two kits that I don't like, so I like this one.
Yeah, that one's cool. I didn't know, maybe it was from a different week. I don't know. Also joining us from Singapore, or not different week, different season, different. Also joining us from Singapore is Mr. CulturedLeftFoot with the Brazil kit. What year is that one? How you doing?
This is 1998, I think. Ronaldo R9.
Oh, nice, man. Very nice. How's everything in the poor? Singapore?
It's all right, mate. It's nice and warm, as ever. Hot, humid. Yeah,
nice.
Pretty samey.
Very nice, very nice. And last but not least, as always, we have our lovely friend, Milothe1st. Milo, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I'm sure we're going to get into some of the reasons why, but yeah, I'm feeling very relaxed, laid back, and looking forward to this.
Oh yeah, we're going to get into it, guys. Trust me, we're going to get into it. Before we begin, as the host, I feel like it is my duty to be not bipartisan. What's the word? Is bipartisan the word?
Bipolar.
We got that. We got that under control. So I am going to. It's my job to be unbiased, right? So we're going to discuss what just happened this week with a certain Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo just recorded an explosive interview with Piers Morgan. Talked about all sorts of things from Ranić to Ten Hag to Wayne Rooney, if he's going to return, about Manchester United in general. One of the quotes he said was, "Yes, I'm being forced out. Not only the coach, but another two of the three guys around. I felt betrayed. People should listen to the truth. Yes, I feel betrayed. And I felt that some people didn't want me here at Manchester United. Not just this year, but also last year, too." Now, let's start off. Who heard the comment? Did we all hear the comments? In some part? We all heard it. Okay.
Yeah.
What are your general thoughts about Ronaldo's comments, just off the top? Let's just, before we get too into details, Milo, why don't you give us your general thoughts about it?
Sure. So, I'm not a United fan, so I the first thing I'll say is I thoroughly enjoy watching other clubs' implosions and when they happen.
That's not a word.
Oh, it is now. Oh, it is now. Trust me. But my point is, I can sit back and sort of smile about this and see the turmoil that it's creating and the stress level and the two sets of United fans battling each other about it. I'm looking at that and I'm kind of like, this is kind of fun. So with that aside, from a purely what his comments, from what I know about Man United and how Man United fans feel about the club and the board and the direction and everything since Ferguson's departure, I don't doubt that there's a lot of truth to what he's saying, and I'm expecting Culture to maybe elaborate a bit deeper on some of those issues that I'm not that well versed in, and maybe yourself as well, Cart. But like, for me, the way he's gone about it is just completely wrong. Piers Morgan is an utter bellend. I'm sorry, he's a bellend. Like, if you're gonna go, even if you were gonna do this interview, do it with someone far more credible than Piers Morgan. Like, if you're gonna do it, like, the guy's a shitbag, and he works for the Sun, I don't know if he still does. I know nothing about his life anymore, but he used to work for the Sun and the News of the World, and they're a disgrace. It's the worst possible person he could have done this interview with. I still think the way football works and the way clubs work in England, especially, it's what he's done is just a massive no-no. And so that's where I sit on it. I'm looking forward to hearing your guys' thoughts on it, because it is a controversial thing. But again, I'm gonna sit here with a smile on my face for most of your comments.
Alrighty. Yeah, it is a big no-no, right? I mean, and the rumor is that he's getting fined 2 weeks' wages, which is about £1 million. That's the rumor. But also, United have released a statement saying that they're assessing the situation. You know, they're not going to make any moves just yet. I mean, obviously they got a lot of time to do that. Cultured, general thoughts about what's going on here?
It's just wrong, isn't it? Well, I mean, I can't disagree with what Milo said. It's just such an odd thing to do, and I understand, like, there's parts of the comments that have come out and stuff like that you can agree with, when he's like, you know, it's the same training facilities when he left the club that are still there now, is the same, nothing like that has improved. I can understand him coming out and saying things like that, because that is like, you know, that period of time that's changed. You think he would come back and it would be different, but then if he signed for the club and not done research into improvements that have happened in the background, that's on him and his agent. If he just goes, that I think players do it like, if we were to apply for a job, right? You would go and look at that company, you would go and research what that company's about, make sure that they're, you know, it's not toxic, and their equipment and their facilities and their tooling or whatever it is you're doing is going to be the best that they can have, and or not, maybe not the best they can have, but at least upgraded over the last few years or something. But it's when he gets into everything around Ten Hag and Rooney and people like that, it's just, there's no need for it. There's just no need for that at all. And I think he's damaging a legacy. I think he's made it so obvious that people can now see that it's all about him. It's not about the club. It's not about teammates. It's not about having a solid base or a unified dressing room and things like that. And the rumors that are coming out, I know, Cart, you said there's, you know, the 2 weeks fine or whatever it is, which would be £1 million. There's rumors that United are now looking at suing him, as if to say it's gross misconduct, because you can't say things like that when you're employed by it, and they're just going to basically tear up his contract, which is what I think he wants. And the rumor is that the dressing room have now come out, so other players have come out or are talking through leaks and stuff to say, well, good riddance. Like, we're a unified team at the moment. We're playing decent football. We've got a good camaraderie in the dressing room and stuff. And if he's just going to ruin it, see you later, Ronaldo. And I think, yeah, it's hard to take when it's someone that's been such a legend for the club. But I think you can't, like Milo said, you just can't do that in English football. You cannot do it, and especially not with that dickhead Piers Morgan. Like, you just can't. It's just wrong how he's done it, and it's. Yeah, and don't get me started on the fact that he literally brought up in the conversation that he's better looking than Wayne Rooney. I mean, one, what's that got to do with anything? And two, I think all four of us are better looking than Wayne Rooney. So
the leading questions from Piers Morgan, he's a professional at that. Yeah. Leading questions, and most people that are in, I'm not going to say Ronaldo's not intelligent, but most people will be clued in and maybe not acknowledge some of the questions. And he's had pushback from lots of guests, right?
Yeah.
Ronaldo didn't push back. He literally answered every single question, and he answered them literally. And some of it may well be, you know, maybe now someone sat him down and gone, you probably shouldn't have said that. You know, Wayne Rooney's probably going to punch you in the face the next time you see it.
Yeah, I know. If the stamp on the balls was accidental in the Euros, the next one will be deliberate.
The comments about Rooney were interesting. I went back and looked at the comments that Rooney made, and there was nothing too malicious about it. I mean, the only thing I think Ronaldo could have taken personally was just saying, you know, how he commented that Ronaldo's 37 now, he's not 23. Other than that, there's nothing else that's offensive about it, because I think that was a direct. Rooney was talking about his play on the pitch, right? That's when he commented on his play on the pitch. So, you know, I'm going to all right, let's keep listening. Let's keep listening. But yeah, culture. I thought you brought up a lot. You pretty much hit all the points I probably would have brought up as well. You know, well, but Hoff, what are you thinking? General thoughts.
In general, I think it shows two parties, because he's talking not Piers Morgan, Ronaldo and Man United, two parties that are both kind of stuck in the past a little bit. With the, like, in regards to the facilities, all that stuff, the club stuff that he talked about. Okay, fair enough. You want to air that out and be upset that nothing's improved since you've left. Okay, cool. You want to go after your current manager, your former teammate, and it's that's where he loses me. And I mean, I've never been a fan of his. I've always appreciated like his skills and everything, but he is literally killing his legacy. Like with the storming off against Spurs, well, I guess that was the second thing after the phone incident at Everton last year. Like, it's I don't know, it's kind of sad to see.
I just there's someone I saw on Twitter did a really good like comparison of when Ronaldo left the stadium against Spurs walking down the tunnel, and Piers Morgan walked off set on Good Morning TV Britain or whatever it was. Like halfway through the show, someone put them side by side or on top of each other, and they like, it's the timing's just superb. But yeah,
And I just get the sense that I don't know what kind of support system Ronaldo has around him, or what kind of hangers-on he has, advisors, whatever you want to call it. I just feel like he's out of touch, and he doesn't want to like acknowledge reality. Like, dude, this is where you are now. Like where your body is right now. Sure, you're in great shape, great six-pack, cool, super jealous, but I mean, you're not going to be the Ronaldo that you were. So yeah, I don't know. That's where I am on it.
Alrighty, this is where I am on this. Okay, no one is wrong here. No one's in the wrong here. This everything that has happened makes sense. Ronaldo can be right, and Manchester United fans can be upset at him, and they're both right to be right. This is one player obviously taking a step that the club, and it's obviously a step he wants out, right? This is an extension of his stance from the summer. He wants out. Nothing happened in the summer. Does he want to risk it and stay quiet and not say anything and then look for a move in January, which is evident? Now, the question is, did Ronaldo kind of throw away performances in order to make sure he gets shipped out, to make sure it's apparent that United needs a new striker or needs to replace Ronaldo? You know, that's a different question, right? Could his performances be a precursor to this interview, if he didn't get certain assurances and whatnot? And a lot of the things that are being spoken about are by people that defend Ronaldo is about some promises that were not kept, and this and that. We talked about it a lot during the summer, how Ronaldo wanted to move out, right? And we can all acknowledge the fact that he got denied by all the big clubs, right? And that's, so everything I'm saying right now, I feel like is in favor of the Ronaldo fanboys. That's one thing that the fanboys want to ignore, right? They want to ignore the fact that he got rejected from all the big clubs that he wanted to go to. And also, he's a huge risk, right? You're going to make some money off of him, but he's going to cost a lot, and he's going to essentially slow your team's progression down, right? You're bringing in an old guy, for example, Sporting, they make their money from selling young talent, bringing through young talent. You bring him to the club, whatever striker was coming through at the time, or even, assist machines and things like that, they're having a slightly old product. Now, does that mean he can't perform? He can't score a goal here and there? Not saying that at all. Maybe he can. But I'm just like, if you look at the progression of a club, the situation at United is a pretty decent situation for him. I don't think many clubs can offer him that type of money. Okay, so that's from that's regarding his move out of the club. Now, all the stuff he talked about the jacuzzi, you know, the cafeteria, the same chefs or whatever, and you know, he said he likes those people. All that is to me, that's fine. You know, that's fine. This is a sign. This is like, obviously, I say it a lot. It's kind of a joke, but it is what it is. I'm back in my manager. I always talk about the Ten Hag era, right? And there's no reason that these comments about the past 10 years can't be seen as a catalyst for change, right? There's no reason that talking about how the facilities are weak. I think Zlatan has talked about it in the past. Alexis Sanchez has talked about it in the past. Jose Mourinho has talked about it in the past. He talked about how getting second place with that club was his biggest achievement because there's so much going on behind the scenes. And then Ronaldo now is talking about the facilities and things like that are the same when he was there 10 years ago or whatever. So things like this, or over 10 years, things like this are positive for the club, right? These are actual positives when you call those things out. It's kind of like, I mean, I hate to draw this comparison, but because it's Piers Morgan recently did an interview with Kanye West, and it's like he's looking for these types of global figures that you know,
controversy.
15% of what they say is just a bombshell, and then
he's made a living off of doing this.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. But like Ronaldo, for example, I'm just saying, yeah, there's like this whole thing is ridiculous. Like doing an interview, in my opinion, is ridiculous. I mean, the things he said about Ranić, fine, that's fine. I completely understand what he's saying. He's a sporting director. In my opinion, that's what United needed, was some sort of sporting director-minded person in the club. Anyways, I'm just saying there's a lot of stuff he said that was completely accurate, and this was his only option. But he's like I think Hoff mentioned, and I think all you guys mentioned, he's totally disconnected. He doesn't live in the same reality we live in, you know. And I think that's something, for better or for worse, I think we're kind of forgetting as well.
But this is what I wanted to bring up next, right? Was going to be, what other than having his contract terminated or ripped up or being paid off to leave, because I think it's got to that point now that he's not going to play for United again, what's he trying to achieve after that? Because if you're a 37-year-old fabulous footballer, but a 37-year-old coming to the end of your career, and you're basically saying, Man United haven't built that team around me and they haven't played me, and there was these promises that were broken, what's he expecting from his next club? I mean, you look at the big clubs, right? Chelsea, they might pick him up because Todd Bowley's still apparently playing fantasy football manager. But I don't think everyone else in the Premier League will avoid him because of this interview and because he's getting on and he's older and he's not as good as he was. I don't think Serie A will have him. I don't think anyone in the Serie A can afford him other than Juventus, and they've got burnt by that once and won't do it again. Germany, I don't think Bayern may give him a short-term contract, but I doubt it. He doesn't fit their philosophy. He's all against their culture and things like that. No one else in Germany can afford him. France, PSG won't. They'll go, well, we've got Mbappe, we've got Messi, we've got Neymar. We don't need Ronaldo for 6 months or anything like that. And then you're looking at Sporting Lisbon. And are Sporting Lisbon going to do it when they've got such a youthful team coming up and playing all right? I'm like, what's he trying to achieve? If I was a club, I'd look at that and be like, that is so disrespectful and egotistical that I don't want to sign you.
Real quick on Sporting, I was trying to find out like if there was anything like churning after the interview. After their game this weekend, the very first question that Emerim was asked was about Ronaldo. And he's been getting that question since summer. And he's always said like, oh, he's a Man United player. I'm not going to talk about other teams' players. We don't have the money to pay for him anyways. He said, I forget when they played, Saturday or Sunday, but he said he's a Man United player, but he didn't bring up the wages at all this time, which was kind of strange because that was like the box response every time he got asked that question, but it changed this time slightly. So I'm not saying that there's anything there. I just thought it was interesting.
If he's going anywhere, it's Sporting Lisbon. It's the only club I can see logically that would take him.
Unless he's willing to go to, China or something like that, where the money will be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Or maybe the
yeah.
MLS. I mean, I could see him going to the MLS, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause the MLS would fulfill his need for attention for another year or two.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, he would be the big draw in the MLS for the entire time he was there. And if he's looking for that kind of a situation, then for me, that would be his best bet. I mean, to go back to Sporting would be wonderful from a career standpoint, but I mean, he's setting bridges on fire.
Yeah.
not burning them, he's setting them on fire himself.
Yeah, and I think, but this is where it comes back to what Cart was saying, in that he lives in his own little world, right? And I don't think is Cristiano Ronaldo's mindset that he's ready to go to the MLS. I think he still thinks he's Bayern Munich level, like Man United, even above Man United's level. That's the whole point of this, right? He thinks he's should be at a club that's got the best facilities, the best outlook, the best goal scorers, the best assisters, the best defenders, and that's what I think is one of the biggest problems, is that he's, again, alluding to what Hoff said, he's always living in the past, sort of.
But apparently it's all about him, and I just can't, like, there's another snippet from it. I don't know if they played the video, but I was reading this one, that when he wishes he'd never left Real Madrid, and the quote was, "They treated me like a king there." That's what's important to him. Yeah. Nothing else. And that, to me, like, that would be enough. If I was a United or a Ronaldo fan, that would be enough for me to be like, jog on. Let's just call it a day.
I remember when Bale went to Madrid, he took that personally. He's like, "Why are you bringing this guy in? I'm here. You don't need him." Because and I was like, well, okay. I thought that was I remember thinking, like, man, what a guy. He's like, we'd bring in a great winger for me to play with. He's not a replacement for me, and you're pissed off about it.
So, okay, now to defend Ronaldo a little bit again. Like, if for example, I can just look at there's probably countless numbers of examples, but I'm most familiar with United players. Rashford, right? He's having a decent season this year. Playing better than he was in the past. There was something mentally off with him in the past. He was essentially the same. Yeah, sure, there was a little bit of injuries, but something mentally off put him off, off his game. There's in the summer, regarding the summer, Ronaldo missed preseason. He said, "The executives at United didn't seem to 100% believe my newborn daughter was ill. It's painful because they didn't take my word for it. That's why I didn't attend the preseason preparation camp. I had to be there for my family." Now, if that's the case, and you have to remember, Ronaldo is kind of a unique character, right? Like you said, he wants to be treated like a king. Could he still have? Because last year he was top 3 scorers in the Prem, right? Had a decent-ish season for a pretty poor United team. Could he still have something in the tank? Like, this season would seem like he's done, right? This season so far, whatever, 14 games. I wonder if he does still have something in the tank, And I mean, obviously, World Cup coming up would be amazing, but like, does he? I don't know. He could have something to prove. If you're not feeling right mentally, and you're Cristiano Ronaldo, and you're gonna do an interview like this, you're definitely not gonna be playing well, right? I mean, it's not like you're gonna be playing super well and then turn around and do this interview. No, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna be, everything's just gonna be off. This is, I'm just speaking to what is left in his career, right? So he said he wants to retire at 40. Piers Morgan leaked that about the interview that's coming out on Wednesday and Thursday. So I don't know. Maybe he's got something in the tank. He's gonna show up at the World Cup, play amazing. And what if he does?
There's clearly still a good player in there for what
there is, but there's not a player there that can drag Portugal to a World Cup, in my opinion.
No.
Yeah, no.
And it'll be, if let's say Portugal.
I don't think he's expected.
I can't remember who's in Portugal's group, but let's say they win their first 2 group games, or they win and draw one, let's say, and they're in a position that looks like they're going to qualify from the group, and they drop Ronaldo for that game to give him a rest, and they play better, like what's going to happen in the knockouts? Like that's and it's all hypothetical. It's obviously all hypothetical because they might win.
He's undroppable for Portugal. He's undroppable.
No, he is unless you've already qualified, and then you.
I don't think he would be. I guess resting him would be the reason to do it, but I would suspect there would be pressure from elsewhere in their football.
Yeah,
within their football world. Call it the FA, Portuguese FA. No idea what they're called. Well, I'm just gonna, I wouldn't be surprised if there was pressure in other nations on, there's probably pressure on England managers to play certain people, people words in ears, leaning on you here and there. You know what I mean? Like, I would suspect that, and I think they're gonna have a tough group. I mean, they've got Ghana, South Korea, and Uruguay. I don't think that's an easy group for them at all. So that third game, I think, is going to be necessary.
I mean, if anybody's gonna start Ronaldo, it could be Fernando Santos. He's come under a lot of heat by the Portuguese fans. Like they really want him to leave.
I think to your point, Carl, if Ronaldo is mentally up for whatever the next challenge is, I think he will definitely do good things for them, whoever it may be. I don't think at this point in his career what he's expecting, like the stuff about the board and the club and the infrastructure and all that's a Man United problem that, like Culture said, he probably knew all that going in. He's bringing this up now. It just seems a bit, that's not the reason he's doing this, right? Like, we know that. We're not silly. The reason he's doing this interview and pushing for this move and just wants out is not because of the jacuzzi.
Right. From a United fan perspective, this is all pretty okay, in my opinion. Like, personally, from my perspective, it's like Ronaldo's trying to pave a way out the door for himself. That's fine. He's talking about how the club needs to invest in the infrastructure. That's great. We've been talking about that. The Glazers, that's a big part of the Glazers out movement, right? They're not reinvesting in the club. So he's calling that out as well, right? So it's a win-win on that front. He hasn't been performing for us. He's not the pressing type that we need, right? Ranić wanted a pressing type, and as does Ten Hag. It all works out, in my opinion. I don't know, like that. I guess that's like an eternal optimistic kind of way of looking at things, but it's the beginning of a new manager. We're slow. It's the kind. Okay, I'm not calling Arsenal this level, but Aubameyang situation, right? They had to remove Aubameyang and get someone else in.
But that was handled by the club. You're out, stripped of the captaincy. You're done. This is the embarrassing opposite of that.
Yeah, I would agree. I agree with Milo there. Is that the Aubameyang situation was that everyone knew it was happening in the background because he was dropped and it was, there was clearly something happening, but you didn't actually know the fallout and how it was handled until the Amazon documentary. Whereas this is, Erik Ten Hag has come out and said, apparently, he was talking to Ronaldo and he didn't feel like there was any disrespect, and then this interview's happened, and I think that's the difference between it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with the disrespect with Ten Hag, I don't completely understand. I mean,
no.
Ronaldo fanboys, or actually, stop saying that. Just like, what's the word? Ronaldo fans,
apologists.
Just say Iran Sports, right?
Iran Sports would say, he didn't bring Ronaldo on out of respect against City, and then he asked Ronaldo to come on in the last 10 minutes against Spurs. Doesn't. And right, out of respect for Ronaldo, he didn't bring him on in the Man City game, and then Ronaldo refused to come on as a substitute in the Tottenham game. It's like, I mean, that whole situation. I hope the Ronaldo fans understand how ridiculous. If that's what they're clinging on to, I hope they understand how ridiculous that is, because you know. comparing City, Manchester Derby versus a game against Spurs is totally different. And then coming on for like 10 minutes at the end, maybe to just I don't know. It's just pretty wild to me. That's where it's not disrespectful to put you on when you're winning. Like if you're down 6-0 and putting you on I would consider that more disrespectful than the other way being respectful or something like that.
I think it works both ways, right, as well, because if you think about what you mentioned in the summer and about his daughter being ill, I think I can't believe in this day and age that the club would have turned around to him and said, we don't believe you, prove it. I can't believe that. I just cannot believe that. And even so, right, he then didn't go to pre-season, but you know that Ronaldo's mindset would have been, okay, pre-season's over, yeah, I didn't play, but I should be the starting striker.
Right.
You know that's Ronaldo's mindset. And
Oh, yeah.
even though Martial played really well in pre-season and Ronaldo wasn't there for whatever reasons, he would have come back into the start of the season and thought in his head, I'm the best striker at the club and I should be starting. And when he doesn't get picked, that's when it all probably starts going a bit downhill. I mean, it is quite funny that Ten Hag has also come out very recently and said Martial's the best finisher at the club. That's going to piss Ronaldo off. You can imagine that. But yeah, I don't know. I think he just lives in his own world, like you said. I think he lives in his own world, and he'll see this interview as for all the right reasons, and he'll see it as it's getting him a break from the club, and yeah, whatever. It's just wrong, really, isn't it? So,
man, if there's any people that want to, defend Ronaldo, please call in. Like, I really want to hear from those people. Like, I'm trying to get into it, and it's really hard to get into that, that role.
The villain, the role of the villain.
No, I don't really think he's the villain. I just think he made a choice. Because
Piers Morgan is the villain here.
yeah.
Piers Morgan's bringing the heat. He's doing
The
what
only
everybody
person
wants.
the only person this interview benefits is Piers Morgan. Don't get it twisted. It's the only person that benefits from this. It doesn't
and
do
all media. Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't do United any favors. It doesn't do Ronaldo any favors. It's just
That's what I'm thinking. I'm saying I think it does do United a favor.
I think it does United
think it does.
favors.
I mean,
I think
only that now they can just leave him out and not have to worry about it.
No, I think it does United favors away from Ronaldo. To have someone like Ronaldo saying nothing's improved since Fergie was here, I think that's huge heat on the Glazers. Massive heat on the Glazers. But that's not why, like you said, Milo, that's not why he's gone to do that interview. He's not done that interview because the jacuzzi is still 14 years old. He's done it because he wants to leave. Yeah. So.
The whole thing reminded me of LeBron James' decision thing. It reminded me of that. It's the same kind of cringy, like it was a bad decision to do that. You know what I mean? Like the decision was a bad decision. Yeah, it had the same aura of just twattiness about it. I can't think of a better word. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's the individualistic kind of thing, right? That's a big individualistic thing.
I think what makes it so much harder to understand is that, yes, I know footballers are different from real world people, but every single football fan around the world will be going, if I said that about my boss, I'd just be fired straight away. No questions
Right.
asked. Just no payout, gross misconduct, off you go, see you later. Like, even if you said it to a mate in a pub and someone happened to pick it up on a phone or a WhatsApp message or something like that, and it fed back to your boss, you'd be sacked for gross misconduct.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's where it's such differences between Ronaldo's thoughts and how disconnected he is from what everyone else is going to interpret this interview as.
I've been sacked for way less. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
There you go. So
I mean, there's the only thing I could think is he felt backed into a corner. He had no other option. This might force a move. I mean, obviously the way he's going about it is just wild, but I don't know. Like that I'm really trying to think it from his perspective. I understand people think he got disrespected by Ranić, and now in the preseason he didn't believe that they didn't believe that his daughter was ill, and then I don't know. Like I can't tell if he's like, because he was top 3 scorer on a pretty average United team last season. I can't tell. Like, cause his performances this year have been really bad, like 100% bad. 95% of his minutes have been bad. You know,
Yeah.
so it's just like, is he just like seeing
Except
his
against Arsenal. Ironically.
He didn't. Did he play? Did he start? I can't.
Yeah,
remember.
he scored
He
against
started?
Arsenal, didn't he?
Oh, did he? Okay, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much more we're going to talk about. I was hoping some pro Ronaldo people were gonna kind of write.
There aren't
something.
any. There are no.
There are. Oh, there.
Who
If you
is
look at,
pro Ronaldo?
I glanced at Twitter and.
Those are Russian bots.
I saw one Twitter post that was like, "What are United doing? Ronaldo's bigger than the club," and then he got absolutely slated on Twitter. And I know Twitter's full of slating and things like that, but honestly, I don't even really see Iran Sports popping up in the chat.
Oh, there we
and
go.
he's the biggest CR7 fan I think I know. So it's just a mess, right? And my logic as a human person is, what was Ronaldo trying to achieve? And it is trying to leave the club, but all he's done is alienate himself from other people, because as Milo said, he's not just burnt his bridge, he's implosiveness of them.
Yeah.
Implosions.
Implosions.
I don't know.
I'm really looking forward to the book in about 5 years.
Yeah.
CR7s?
Yeah.
Piers
Oh yeah.
Morgan's.
Piers
Oh no.
Morgan's.
Piers
Yeah.
Morgan can. I have nothing good to say about him.
You know, it'd be cool in books if they had a QR code. You know, and then like as you're reading, and like they reference an interview, you can like scan the QR code. Maybe that'd be cool.
That's probably a really good idea to try and sell to someone, Cart.
That'd be
It
pretty
probably-
cool.
It's
it's
too
not
bad
been
you
done
said it on
already.
the internet.
Because like
Yeah.
Piers Morgan's got all these interviews, and he
gone.
could have like unreleased footage from an interview with Ronaldo in his book or something. You know.
It'd be like a
Exclusive.
reference,
I-
wouldn't it, when they
What would
reference
be cool?
something.
What we
Yeah.
want is access to Piers Morgan's wiretaps. Because, yeah.
What I want is to wiretap Piers Morgan's phone so that he knows how it feels,
Yeah, exactly.
so I can hear all of that shit he's talking about. Yeah.
Just, yeah. Should we move on to
Yeah, let's move on.
I guess the Man United game would be a good place to start now.
Oh yeah, let's talk United. Fulham United. Last game before the break. 1-0. United go up 1-0. Then some nice play. Former Red Dan James scores. And then in the 93rd minute, with the last kick of the game, Alejandro Garnacho, 18 years old, scores a pretty beautiful goal. Great assist as well by Eriksson, knowing
Yeah.
how the movement of Garnacho. Decent game. Just real quick before I hand it over to Cultured, I mentioned it on stream. I would have taken like, I'm not gonna say 3, but I'll take last 3 games before the break. I'll take loss win rather than win loss. You know. I know.
Yeah,
I know. It doesn't
okay.
like. I just want to end with a win type of thing, and I was ready to go into the break with a draw. You know, like I was just like, you know, I was just like, damn, and then boom, out of nowhere, he just like somehow gets around his defender and puts it away, and I was just I lost it. It was great. So yeah, I'm just happy about that. But yeah, Culture, thoughts about the game. United game.
I thought it was a good. It was one of those. It was a good game. I think it was a really actually entertaining game from a neutral point of view as well. Like not that I have a neutral point of view, but I imagine from a neutral point of view, it was an entertaining game. I think it's one of those classic ones where you don't take your chances. Right? We had so many chances in the first half to maybe go 2 or 3-0 up, and then I was always worried about Dan James coming on, not because it's the classic ex-player syndrome coming on and having an impact, but his pace was always going to be a problem against whichever wing he went on. He's quicker than Luke Shaw and he's quicker than Malacia, who is left-footed. So attacking him on the opposite fullback, I think, was great decision from Marco Silva to put Dan James against that side. And he's generally quicker than our quickest centre-back, which was Lisandro Martinez, and that was shown very easily in around the 70th minute mark. Really good goal from him as well. Good movement from Dan James. I feel like it was a good game. I think Christian Eriksen is just that assist. He had to get that pass spot on in terms of weight, and it was a little bit softer. Defender gets there first, a little bit harder. It goes out for a goal kick. It was just absolutely spot on. And Garnacho looks like a lot of youngsters. He sort of reminds me of when sort of Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe and people that burst on the scene, where it was just confidence. It's just, yeah, I've done this at the under-21s, and I'm just going to do exactly the same thing at senior football. And a lot of the time, you see youngsters try and do what they've done at the youth level of football, and it's not quite worked because there's stronger defenders, there's quicker defenders, they're playing against men. But I think there's this new generation of young talent coming through, and I think Arsenal, I know Milo's looking shocked on his face, but like, I think Arsenal have done that really well in terms of getting their players ready for senior football and then just sort of chucking them in. And if they swim and not sink, you stick with it. And I think Garnacho has, in the few minutes we've seen, he's probably placed himself above Elanga now to be the starting player. But then, it's different, isn't it? Because it's sort of like the Dan James situation, is that Elanga started and worked hard and wasn't, you know, he's got a ceiling, which I think Elanga's quite close to, and I can't see him staying at United for too much longer. But Garnacho, you can chuck him on with 20, 25 minutes to go, and his pace, his confidence, his direct running is just, it's got to be scary for defenders to know he can do that. But overall, I think it was really good. Great to see Martial back. I think he linked up the play really well. Him and Rashford seem to be connecting really well now when they're playing. Bruno was in and out of the game a bit, pushed out to right wing when McTominay came on. I wasn't too sure about that. That seemed... Look, I feel like Malacia was struggling at right back, which is understandable because he's a left back and normally. And I felt like there might have been a better option to push out to the right-hand side to give a bit more defensive cover on that side. But I can understand why Ten Hag did it. And ultimately, yeah, we won. We got that big momentum boost as the World Cup's coming up. All the fans are on a big high, and then Ronaldo comes out and does that interview and just takes away all of the positivity, basically. So yeah, a bit annoying, but it was a good game. Great to have it like that. Fulham were very good. I really like what Fulham have done this year. They're playing really well. If they'd had Mitrovic, I think we would have been in a lot more trouble. I mean, Carlos Vinicius, Hoff might remember him from his loan spell at Spurs a little bit. He is absolute dog shit. And I don't want to paraphrase that at all. He is absolutely turd. Yeah.
You bring up a good point about Malacia at right back. He did get, they were attacking him pretty good. And he was having trouble over there. Even with Elanga, I thought Elanga would help out a little more, but yeah, it wasn't looking too good over there. But I think that does highlight the fact that I think we might be in the market for a right back. I don't think, I don't think Wan-Bissaka has played at all in the season.
No, he's been injured, isn't he? He's got back in training this week. Yeah.
But I'm, when you think about who Ten Hag would want as a right back, I just don't see Wan-Bissaka being that technically gifted type of player. And I wonder if this, I wonder if he's being tactically left out, kind of. And we're looking for a right back in the winter, but we'll see. I know we were in for Timber, right, in the summer.
Yeah.
But Van Gaal was like, it's not going to happen until after the World Cup, But yeah, I don't know. Hoff, Milo, I don't know if you guys saw any of the game.
I watched a bit of it. I mean, I the only things I wanted to touch upon really for this one was, if you look at the context of the table, this is a really big win for United. You're now 3 points behind Tottenham in fourth, and you have a game in hand over them. So you've put yourselves in a really, really good spot. Like, if you can, hit the ground running after the World Cup, you could easily be in that top four fight there with Tottenham and Newcastle. And I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with the top two. We'll get to them, but yeah, I mean, I just think you put yourselves in a fantastic position. I mean, obviously the Garnacho hype train has left the station. The conductor is CulturedLeftFoot, and the ticket inspector is CulturedLeftFoot. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that as well.
Barcelona are apparently rumored looking into signing Garnacho.
With what money?
On a free?
It's just nice. It's nice when you hear your a good player from your club being linked away.
It isn't though when you're not playing to your potential. Believe me, I've watched it happen with Arsenal year after year, where people are like, "Well, Saka's now linked with so and so," and you're like, "Fucking hands off!" You know, like,
Yeah, we'll get to Arsenal for sure. Yeah, Dan James scoring just like a couple minutes after he came on as well. Now what is that now? Last week was City scoring in the last second with that Kevin De Bruyne penalty. We didn't need a penalty, you know. We didn't need a penalty. A dodgy penalty from City. And then this week against it's tough for Fulham, but Fulham are looking good. Yeah, I don't know, Hoff, if you have anything else to add. We kind of covered quite a bit there.
Yeah, the only thing I have to add is there are a handful of players that I would physically pay to watch in a stadium, and Christian Eriksen is one of them. He's just incredible. I love that guy so much. Even if he never played for Spurs, I just think he's fantastic. I love that guy.
I forgot about that little fact as well. He's the first Danish player to score for Man United since Peter Schmeichel in 1995.
Wow.
There you go.
That's good. Yeah, Eriksen's, for me, I think he's probably the most I mean, I think getting any... I don't want to say getting any center back would have fixed our defense like Lisandro has. I mean, Lisandro's obviously a great passer and he has a lot of good qualities. But I think a lot of center backs would have just improved that position. But Eriksen's a special type of player. You know, he's that, you know, playmaker. I don't want to, you know, like, you know, Pirlo's, Scholes, you know, these guys, like even Xavi's, you could even say, you know, these guys, yeah, like Hoff's saying, these guys are, you know, artists and whatnot, you know. But yeah, you know, United, it could have easily been a draw. It could have easily been, you know, another inconsistent performance. So it's like there's that, and we'll talk about it, I think, when we get to other teams about just table in general. But you know, I think this inconsistency will decrease, but it's not going to go away. I don't think we'll still have a little bit of these types of 1-1s and, you know, type of games as well. Let's keep it moving on if there's nothing else to add there. Oh, one quick thing I wrote. Bruno. It just reminded me of the Ronaldo conversation. Have you guys seen the video of Bruno arriving in the Portugal dressing room?
yeah.
And he kind of
saw it earlier. Yeah.
He shakes Ronaldo's hand, and he doesn't
Eventually,
exactly. Yeah, he doesn't go to shake. He kind of walks by, kind of like just kind of walks around him, and then Ronaldo extends his hand to him, and then he kind of looks at him, and then they say something, and Ronaldo doesn't look too happy about it. You know, and Bruno, you know, like Bruno is, you know, he's going to be there next year, and Ronaldo is definitely not going to be. And that's a whole nother thing. Let's move on to Spurs. Spurs won 4-3 against Leeds. Leeds were up at half 2-1, and then Spurs tied it up. And then Leeds took the lead again. And then the 80th minute, Bentancur scores. And Spurs eventually win 4-3. Pretty wild game. What a way to go out. What a way to go into the break. You know, it's looking bad. Hoff, what are your thoughts about that game?
It was a game that Leeds was involved in, so it was exciting as hell.
Yeah.
And it was, I'm continually on the spectrum of what the fuck are we doing in the first half? In the second half, I'm like, oh, that's what we're doing. Every single game. Like sometimes we'll come back and win, which got the most points from losing position so far this year in the league. And sometimes you end up losing to Liverpool after spotting them 2 goals. So yeah, the defense is my main concern. Also, show of hands in chat, where are the clowns that said Juve rejects that we got last January? Because those 2 guys are the straws that stir the drink right now. And I know you're in there because I've seen you today. So just let you know, I'm watching. But yeah, Kulusevski is he is fantastic. We missed him a lot, and Bentancur and Højbjerg, really, if they have Basuma sitting behind them, those two are going crazy in offense. I didn't really know that either one of them had that aspect to their game, especially Bentancur. When I watched him at Juventus, he's more of like strictly box to box, never really shot much, let alone scored. Yeah, but solve the defense, I think things will be better. And Romero's been hurt for most of the season, so hopefully when he comes back, that helps out.
Yeah, on Bentancur, he did have a tough start, right? He to me, I think I had said something along those lines. I'll admit, I had said something along the lines of like, was it a package deal, right? Because Kulusevski was playing well in the beginning, right? He was doing well. So in my mind, I was like, all right, you guys can have Kulusevski, but
right,
you also have to
take
Bentancur.
this guy. Yeah,
type of thing.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was really the deal. Like, you got to take him off our books if you want this guy.
Yeah, it's great.
Any thoughts on your opening goal there? I thought it was a foul on the keeper.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I know I might be a little biased, I suppose, but I mean, I don't think I am when it comes to that. I thought that
I wouldn't have been surprised if it was called off or called back. But,
yeah,
I mean, I'll take any goal we can get.
Definitely a foul for me.
It's just interesting, Tottenham in particular have been involved in several goals this season where there's been a foul in the build-up that hasn't been looked at.
The only thing I'll say is that was it last week when you played Newcastle? There was a very similar incident on Lloris, and it wasn't called either, and the goal was given. Tottenham Newcastle. It might not have been last week. It might have been the week.
Oh,
before.
it was a few weeks ago when him and Wilson ran into each other.
Yeah,
right.
And that was still given. I was like, I can sort of see that not evening out, but if you're not going to give that one of Newcastle, then that one against Leeds is also a legitimate goal, even it probably wasn't. But
yeah. So I mean, Spurs head in to the break in fourth. Yeah, but United have a game in hand there. I think they'll have
both Tottenham and Newcastle on 15 games played. So
yeah. What other games did we have? We had a Liverpool-Southampton game. I wonder if we got any Liverpool fans in chat. Darwin Núñez brace. Darwin with a couple great goals. Southampton not getting it done. I don't know if you guys saw any of this game.
I watched a bit of it.
Yeah, pretty good.
I think Núñez is. I mean, I said it. I think he's just one of those players who can take a little bit longer to acclimatize, and I think he's going to be a regular goal scorer for Liverpool. I don't know if he'll blow the doors off any season, but I think he's going to be a threat and a regular goal scorer for them.
It's one of the better games I've seen Darwin Núñez play, and he didn't play as an out-and-out striker.
On the left,
he played more off the left wing, which I think is interesting. If that's
played
how
him with Bobby, right?
He did that.
Yeah. Him and Bobby Firmino rotated a bit, but he more came off the left, and it did seem to suit him better. But then it's sort of like, how do you fit him there when Luis Diaz is back and Diego Jota's fully fit? And it's an I'm still not sold on Núñez. He's clearly a good player, but I don't know if he's the standard to go and win titles, which is what Liverpool want to do, right? So
yeah. I mean, if you take the price tag out of it, he seems like a good signing. He seems like he will be a good fit, and he could fit well in that Liverpool, quick counter-attacking kind of, counter-pressing type of team. But Southampton 19th in the Prem, 12 points. This is their second or third game without Hasenhüttl. So will be interesting to see how they do things in January. Other match that we started the weekend with, in fact, was Manchester City versus Brentford. What a game this was. Unbelievable stuff here. The great Manchester City lose in the last minute to an Ivan Toney finish in the 98th minute. Big stoppage. I think Emerick Laporte required some stitching, things like this or something. But Toney scores, then Phil Foden scores in extra time in injury time of the first half. But they couldn't find a way through, and once again, you saw a very, very, with Haaland at the front, you saw a very different type of attack. You know, it's a lot of long balls, not a whole lot of link through Haaland, obviously, but obviously Brentford sitting 10 men behind the ball, but that's what City should be expecting with their high possession and talent. General thoughts on that game?
It was brilliant.
Yeah, that was good.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, really, really great stuff.
I'll pose a question.
Yeah.
Because I'm just picking fights today, I guess. Where is your God now? That's my question. To the city gents. But no, seriously, I feel like you can, I mean, as evidenced, you can shut Haaland down. It requires a team defensive effort, which was what Brentford did. Also, I don't know, and it might just be because of how they're playing now with Haaland. I feel like City aren't using their 1v1 skills as much as they could or should, maybe. Like, they're trying to pass around everyone, but when the opposition's sitting 10 guys behind the ball, that's not gonna work too well. If you get I don't know, I just blanked on names. If you get like a Mahrez that dribbles at the defender instead of trying to pass around them, I feel like then Mahrez is probably a terrible example.
No, but Mahrez is that guy. You know, he was
Right.
supposed to be that guy for them, one of those guys for them.
And it was
I think that's what he wants from
last
wingers.
year, right?
Yeah,
Raheem last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Raheem, not Raheem anymore. Riyad, Grealish,
Grealish, yes.
Foden,
Foden.
Bernardo Silva, Foden. Yeah, so you got those four guys. Is there anyone else? I mean, they have Cole Palmer coming through.
It's
Are those guys?
What Brentford did is the blueprint of how you get a result against a really, really good team. And you know, we've all at times seen our teams be that team facing 10 men behind the ball and trying to break them down. And sometimes those are the games you might win 1-0 with a 87th minute goal, because it just takes that long to break them down if they're a well-organized unit. Brentford just had it going the other end as well, and Toney pounced. So, and he had a point to prove, I think, as well, being left out the England squad. You know, he's one of a number of players this weekend that seemed to do that as well. And yeah, I think what I like about it is, obviously from my perspective, it's great to see City drop some points, but also it shows that with Haaland, they're not infallible. You know what I mean? They are beatable. There's a way you can go about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, let's keep it moving along here. We got spoke of people who missed out on England call-ups. Joe Willock scored for Newcastle. 1-0 Newcastle over Chelsea.
Arsene Wenger's done it again.
This Chelsea team isn't looking too great right now, but still Newcastle getting it done. Another win. They're in third place. That's their fifth win in a row in the league. Newcastle's looking good. They're just, and Chelsea. I mean, like, it's easy to say, you know, Chelsea look bad and Newcastle look good, but you know, Newcastle have been looking good for the last couple weeks, and they've got decent amount of rotation options as well. City don't look too great. They had a couple. Yeah, they had a youngster, Hall or something. He had a couple chances in
Lewis Hall.
Lewis Hall, yeah. He looks good. It's good to see them bringing someone through. Any comments on Chelsea's situation? What are we going to see from Bowley in the winter?
Nothing. He should do nothing. He should let that team settle.
Yeah.
That's what he should do,
Yep.
and let Graham Potter actually figure out what that team is. Don't be chucking more players in. Yeah.
On their injury list, they got Kepa, Ben Chilwell, the new midfielder they signed, Chukwuemeke, Fofana, Reece James, N'Golo Kante, and Raheem Sterling, all out through injury.
Aubameyang didn't play, right?
Aubameyang didn't play,
No.
left on the bench.
So, interesting. Dropped the game before Arsenal, played against Arsenal, contractually obliged, in my opinion, and then dropped again.
And if you look at their squad, they got a lot of depth and a lot of good players for all those players being injured right there that I just mentioned. If you look at their squad, it is really nice. It's a very nice squad. But there's something going on. I don't know. Maybe everyone's like a little uncertain maybe about what's going to happen in January with the crazy American at the helm, you know.
I feel like Newcastle, they're like a crew on an oil rig that have just struck oil, aren't they? Literally.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You know what I mean? They're all
nice.
there. They're working hard. They're working hard as a team, and then boom, they strike oil. Now everyone's happy. They're on a charge. Like, you know what I mean? They're fired up, and it's only going to be up from here. So yeah, they are.
They're doing great.
Well, Newcastle's an interesting one, right? Because they have to get the signings right in because I assume Newcastle are going to sign someone in January. I think we all think they're going to do some sort of move at some extent.
Ronaldo.
but that's what I mean. Like,
That'd be great.
I mean, I don't think they'll sign Ronaldo, but they could definitely sign someone that would unsteady that oil rig. I was going to say shit, but we'll stick with the metaphor.
Yeah.
That could unsettle it, but it's also the risk of if you don't sign someone and you say it's all going really well, let's keep with it at the moment, and you drop off, then the fans will be like, "Why didn't we sign someone? We've got all this money. Why didn't we do it?" And I think that's the difficulty with Newcastle at the moment. And Eddie Howe can't spend money very well. I've got to beat that Eddie Howe stick every episode, every show. He spent 25 million on Dominic Solanke. He cannot spend money very well.
That's your shtick, and mine is Arsene Wenger's done it again, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
And Joe Willock's in the middle.
Yeah.
Other results: Aston Villa 2, Brighton 1. Big win for Unai Emery's guys there. Brighton not an easy team. Bournemouth 3, Everton 0. Big Bournemouth win.
Bye, Frank.
Yeah. Forest 1, Crystal Palace 0. Leicester 2, West Ham 0. And the big match of the weekend is the league leaders, Arsenal. After City dropped points, Arsenal kicked off later on Saturday, 2-0 against Wolves. Some beautiful goals from them. Classic vintage Arsenal. At least the Arsenal I grew up with. Xhaka goes off in the 16th minute. Two goals from Odegaard. Milo, how'd you enjoy that match?
I really enjoyed it, and the biggest key I took out of it, other than the 3 points and that side of it, is great. For so many years, when we've been that last team to play in the weekend, and we've got an opportunity to get into the top 4, or maybe to get into second, or to get into first, you know what I mean? For years and years, when we've had that opportunity, we squandered it, and usually against, on paper, inferior opposition. So to see us actually, be able to go away from home against a team like Wolves and get a result, no matter how mediocre they've been this season. I think it just shows how far the club has come, and I really think Arteta's starting to get a lot of the plaudits that he really deserves. I mean, I was a little unsure. I think I talked about it on the show, when we first started doing the show, probably. But yeah, I think I'm really, really pleased that being the last team as I say, the last team to play at the weekend. You've got all those results. You know, City have dropped points. It's a massive opportunity, and they didn't waste it. It was a shame to lose Xhaka to that injury, but I thought Fabio Vieira did really well when he came on. He got a lovely assist, in fact, for the opener for Odegaard. I thought Jesus, constant threat again, had a disallowed goal for offside, which it was offside, no question there. He had a couple of other decent efforts saved. You know, it's coming. If he's going to score in bunches, it's fine. The team's still winning. Like I said, it's not a problem until it's a problem. That's kind of how I feel about that. I don't know if we're going to have time to go too in-depth on January transfers. So I want to mention that I really want to see us go after a defensive mid as a backup to Partey, because El Neni just isn't it for me. The midweek Carabao Cup defeat to Brighton showed me that, you know, the depth isn't there to win comfortably at a Premier League level. You know, I was devastated that we lost in the Carabao Cup, obviously. I'm really, you know, secretly happy that, or not secretly happy that we're out of that one. But yeah, so I'd really like some coverage there. We're being heavily linked with Mudryk. I don't know. I mean, I'd love to have a player like that come to us. I don't know what that would mean for Martinelli. I don't know how it would work, yada, yada, yada. But that's an interesting rumor that I've been seeing. But yeah, I'm ecstatic anyway to go into this World Cup break 5 points ahead. Like Culture said midweek in the Discord, I can look at the table because at Christmas we will be top of the league by 5 points. So now it's just key to keep that one game at a time mentality. That's it. Just one game at a time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, gotta look at Arsenal and just personally, I'm kind of convinced at what's going on over there. Obviously, injuries are massive, right? But so that could happen. That could derail everything and blah blah blah. But outside of injuries, I mean, even a couple injuries, they're getting goals from everywhere. I mean, as far as scoring goals goes, right? They're getting goals from everywhere. They have Tomiyasu who can play left back, right back. They can go to a back three and play with wing backs if really necessary. Like Tierney, I wouldn't trust Tierney as a left back, you know, sole left back type of thing too much. He's been coming on late games and just kind of putting in, you know, with fresh legs type of thing. I think in midfield, Partey might need a backup. Lokonga, I mean, I saw him mainly. I think he started the United game. I saw him there, and then I haven't really seen him too much. That's a tough game to come into. But yeah, I think definitely midfield they could go for a certain. And as I mentioned I don't know, even last season, how are they going to strengthen that front three or give depth, get proper depth to them? Because right now they have Marquinhos and Reece Nelson as backups, and Eddie and Nketiah, which are
Mudryk would be awesome.
Yeah, so Mudryk changes things. He can play in a 10, right? Kind of?
Yeah.
So he would kind of allow maybe Odegaard to drop into that kind of, maybe like it would be Mudryk and Vieira and then Xhaka and Eric. Okay. I was going to say like an Eriksen type of role, right? Odegaard could drop into that type of role, that kind of...
What's good is I think Fabio Vieira can be back up. You know, he can slot in for Xhaka. He did it really well against Wolves, to be honest. He can slot in for Odegaard as well in that role. I definitely think we need an offensive player that can play on the wings. I don't know. Maybe Mudryk could play on the right or the left or in the middle. And if that's the case, according to his Football Manager profile, that is the case. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I just think a forward and a defensive central midfield reinforcement would be really nice in January, just to keep things ticking over if injuries happen. Obviously, we've no idea what's going to happen at the World Cup.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, when Vieira... It's okay, so let's just talk about that a little bit, because when Vieira came on, it looked like the Arsenal I grew up with, right? Like, kind of Odegaard, Vieira, you know, and so like a light, you know, a light, quick kind of like more fluid type.
Yeah,
of thing.
Fabregas, Ramsey.
Exactly.
that
Hleb,
kind of- yeah. Hleb. Yeah.
Flamini was pretty. He could put a tackle in, right? Flamini could.
Yeah, Flamini was a dirty bugger. Yeah.
Yeah. But like the thing, I do think that Xhaka role. I know you talk a lot about GDX and everything like being amazing. I do think he's very important to your situation. Like
I do as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's certain games, certain performances require that kind of player. And
against Wolves, not so much, but yeah.
Not this season.
Yeah.
But I think if it was Wolves last season, you know what I mean? We might have needed Granit to playing in this role that he's playing now. But yeah, Fabio came in. I mean, Arsenal were playing quite well in the game anyway. He just slotted in, and it just the tempo was able to be increased enough to get the deadlock broken. And
great assist.
It was, yeah, and he's been really impressive actually, Fabio Vieira. I think since he's shown up. Yeah. I'm a big fan, and he's also been amazing in Football Manager, which Culture will testify to.
I think that's the confidence that Arsenal have at the moment, right? Is that they know, someone gets injured, we'll just slip in a player, and the structure and the system doesn't change. We can just up that tempo to try and find a goal, and then sit back and then get another one. And I think that's just the confidence of playing well and being top of the league. I would love to see that sort of fly on the wall in a dressing room at training and things like that, and win in Arsenal, and see how high that morale really is, because it must be absolutely buzzing at the moment. It must be super.
Yeah, and the consensus around the club is that the depth is better than it's been for a long time, but yet the club still are acknowledging that, or seem to be acknowledging that they would like some more depth. You know what I mean? Like, so that's a really positive step, because especially towards the end of Wenger's years, it was you had your first 11, and as soon as one of those were taken out, it just collapsed. It just didn't work.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that kind of wraps up the league. Arsenal on top, City 5 points behind, and then the rest. It feels like it's going to be a City Arsenal situation. I mean, it's easy to say, right? Arsenal is the first place. They've obviously won the most games. But okay, I'm just gonna point out, because I mentioned it in Discord a little bit, why I think Arsenal are. I mean, I think they're title favorites. This idea, or the league is a marathon, right? Now, obviously, Arsenal could somehow just fall completely apart and finish top four, maybe.
That wouldn't be falling completely apart, though.
No, from what they've done so far, I think I'm just saying, to be completely out of the title race, it could happen. I just think that the energy, like I mentioned it early on in the season, the energy around Arsenal, it's different. It's in the past, it would feel like the fans dictated the energy or something. Like it in the past, it felt like and also there was a lack of strength. You didn't have like this Saliba, Gabriel, Ramsdale feeling and Xhaka type of feeling, and these tireless wingers. You guys had great attacking throughout the time I watched you guys. That's from 2005 on. But you didn't have this sort of energy of you guys have this energy of almost like what I grew up with United having, like that strong back four, the Rio, Evra, Vidic, Neville, or whoever you want to, put in.
It's taken a while to shake that Wenger effect, though, because if you look at Wenger's teams, they were always attack focused. The strongest players were in attack. He inherited the famous back four at Arsenal when he first came, and from the George Graham era. So Tony Adams, Steve Bold, Martin Keown, Nigel Winterburn, Lee Dixon, they were an established, and David Seaman behind them. That back five was fully established and scary to play against. They were well known to be a good defensive unit, and then Wenger added his attacking source to it, and it just clicked. Right. Then from there, we were able to bring in Sol Campbell shortly after, which just made moving on from Tony Adams and Martin Keown ridiculously easy. That gave you a rock to build the other pieces in. And then after that generation, the defense became a liability. Every season we would see areas of that defense that just didn't work. You know what I mean? Like once Ashley Cole left and different pieces. So I feel like now that Wenger-ness has been removed from the team. You know, Koscielny was kind of like the last of it, maybe. And then you bring in Gabriel, you bring in Saliba. Like we've now got a defense that is built for today's game. Start playing from the back to the front with ball-playing defenders. Playing out from the back is something that, you know, you remember that season, was it 2 years ago? We were trying to do it and just really, it was scary at times to watch. Because, you know what I mean? They were giving the ball away and giving up really cheap goals. So, like, for me, I think, you know, what you said there is bang on. But I think that's the reason why we've come out of that era.
And that's also why I feel a little more confident in saying that Arsenal have a good chance. Obviously, depth is a thing, and you know, the more you know, depth is a thing. But we're assuming that other teams are just gonna somehow miraculously improve. You know, and to me, I just don't really see that really. Personally, like And the one that has to really improve is City, and I just don't really see it in them. I don't know if that's because I'm a United fan.
I think I can see City improving. Like
me and Carl got into this in the Discord culture. Sorry, I go for it. But we got into this in the Discord a bit because I disagree with his mindset on this. But go for it. Say your piece.
I think City can improve to that level to win the league. I think if Arsenal finish fourth from this point, that it's not a collapse, but it's got to be disappointing to finish fourth from here because you're playing so well, and for you to finish fourth means Arsenal, something's happened at Arsenal. Because I'm sort of leaning towards Cart to say I don't think there are enough teams that can improve that much to catch you into second, for example. And I'm not saying Arsenal finish second is a disappointment, not at all. And City are probably still favourites to win the league because it's City. But I do think there's an element of if Arsenal, yes, the goal was top four, that would have been lovely. Anything else is a bonus. You've always said that. But if Arsenal finish fourth from this point, I do think that would be a disappointment. Something has happened to make it a disappointing end to the season, whether it's Ramsdale getting injured and Turner turns up in goal and turns out to be rubbish, right? That's not technically Arteta's fault because injuries happen. But something has happened to mean it is a disappointing end to the season if Arsenal, I think, finish out of the top two in this season because I don't think teams are playing well enough. And I think
I would agree with you both on that. I would, but even, you know, if you look at the documentary, I know some of you watched it. I don't know if you all did, but Josh Kroenke, you know, all he talked about was we need, you know, we're aiming to get into the Champions League place. That's the aim. That's always been the aim. Anything more is a bonus. To be honest, doesn't matter if you're second or fourth, does it? You're in the Champions League. You either win it or you want to be in second, third, or fourth. So for me, second, third, or fourth don't really mean squat. Right. If you're in one of those, you're in the Champions League. If you win it, I mean, I'd love to talk about winning it. I just don't think. Look, and for comedic reasons, I will play I want us to be the plucky underdogs card all season long. Okay, I'm just gonna throw that out there. So every game, I'm gonna be like, no, like, you know, because it's working so far, and we're in the same underwear I've been wearing since the start of the season. It's going very well. No, I'm just kidding, or am I? But we're things are going well so far. So, Injuries are you know, you can't predict them. I mean, you might be able to predict them. Maybe some sports scientists could say, you know, playing the same team for 38 games in a season or something, you know, you're bound to get some muscle. You know, it just depends on how much effort they put into the FA Cup, and you know, if you see them put if you see like Saka, or maybe not Saka, maybe like Martinelli or like Odegaard playing all these, you know, Europa League matches, and FA Cup matches, I just think that if they prioritize the league and they make sure people are fit for the league, that they could easily win it. They play with a certain style that is just perfect for the Premier League. I think it's exciting also. Like it's not like super
tiki-taka, possession, city stuff, right? It's good attacking football, and that's what you need. They're pressing high, they're getting in behind. It's just they're doing like what a proper like kind of 4-2-3-1 or 4-4 4-3-3 type of team needs to do to win the Prem, and they're doing it almost like in a I don't know, just so that there's no drop off really. I think they lost against United, and then they drew against Southampton, I think, and they had a red card in that game, I think, or I can't remember. Their draw was against Southampton. I can't remember.
Yeah,
But,
it was.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah, I am being positive.
The loss to Arsenal, though, if you listen to that Cristiano Ronaldo interview, apparently Arsenal were the better team, and the officials helped you win it. That's from Ronaldo, not from me.
Yeah, but he's in his own little world. We discussed that.
Listen, I'm just saying what I heard him say.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, that's another thing.
No,
But,
I'm just.
yeah, no.
I'm enjoying being top of the league right now. That's like, you know what I mean? I'm enjoying it. It's not.
The first thing we talked about, just about this Arsenal team and why I feel the way about them that I do, is it's basically that. I feel like we've completely turned the page from the Wenger era now, like complete turn. And that's a big thing, because it always felt like there was that kind of like bottling, lingering, post 2006 Wenger era vibe about Arsenal that I grew up with.
Yep.
And now I don't see that at all. I just don't see it.
Think how deep
and I'm not trying to
ran.
jinx it or anything. I'm not trying to jinx it or anything like that. Yeah. I
Think
actually
how
don't.
deep that influence ran, because he admitted, by his own admission, he controlled every aspect, everything.
Yeah.
And it feels like the Wenger era is gone, right? Because it's successful now. There's Arsenal on the uptrend, and it will be the same with United. When we actually hit an uptrend, everyone will say that is the end of the Fergie era hangover. And Mourinho was sort of nearly there, I guess, with the Europa League win, and that Van Gaal won the FA Cup, but there was never that feeling that had gone. Whereas Arsenal seem to be out of that feeling now of the Wenger hangover, and that's what I think it comes down to. Arteta has either controlled what he needs to and delegates the rest, and the Cronkies have sort of reacted to the fan backlash they had a couple of years ago, and it seems like it is moving down that river, right? And it's, like you say, it's getting to the end of that Wenger era, and it's because of if Arteta had failed, everyone would say, oh, it's because he's the Arsene Wenger hangover, right? It's still here and you can't do it. And the successful trend upwards allows you to let go of the past, basically. And I think that's what's happening. And it is credit to, I'm not taking anything away from Arteta, it's credit to Arteta and Arsenal for allowing that to happen.
Arteta's taken me by surprise, and I think a lot of people, how obviously Aubameyang was someone that maybe didn't respect Arteta as much. Maybe it was an age thing, Arteta's not that much older than him. But I think a lot of the young players, especially, they know what Arteta did in his career, in his playing days. They know what he did with Pep, and everyone that's ever worked with him says he was destined to be a good manager, including Wenger, by the way. So, I think it's coming together nicely right now. It's just about adding a couple more key ingredients, I think, and then seeing what we can do. But yeah, I will take fourth happily. I will not be sat here mad if we finish fourth. From where we are right now, would I be a little disappointed? Maybe, but I don't think it would be the end of the world. I mean, we're in a good spot right now, and Arteta said today, and I sent it to Cart. A reporter asked him, after the World Cup, you're in a massive position to do something, and Arteta said, no, after the World Cup, we're in a massive position to beat West Ham. That's it. One game at a time.
And that's the thing. It's like there's that mentality's there, and I fully believe that the players are, Arteta's getting that
they bought
mentality
into
to
it.
the players.
Yeah.
Yeah, they bought into it. And the other thing, Arteta obviously didn't sign all of these players, and a big credit so far has to go to Edu, right? He was there before Arteta, I believe. I don't know how long he was there in the Wenger time or before Emery. Not sure. But a lot of credit has to go to the squad that has been assembled. I think I was looking at a stat. They have the third youngest team in like the top 5 leagues. obviously the youngest in the Prem. And to do that, and they're building something good. And yeah, I mean, we'll mention it again. How are they going to strengthen? I don't know. Will be interesting to see. But like winning, finishing top 2, let's just say that is going to do massive things for recruitment as well. Quickly, we talked a lot. I'm just going to talk about the table in Spain, just so that we can say we talked about it. I think the World Cup is more interesting. Barca's number 1, Madrid's number 2. They're 2 points behind him. They played midweek. And it's gonna be between those two, obviously. Sevilla's in the relegation zone with 11 points, and the top 4 race is going to be good too, though. Sociedad, Bilbao, Atletico Madrid, Betis are all there within each other, 2 points, 3 and then just a couple points behind them. Osasuna. There's a pretty good list for European spots. Will be interesting to see in Spain, but they're going to be taking a little break there. Anything to add about Serie A or Germany? We've been talking so much Premier League and Ronaldo.
I know, yeah. I mean, Serie A, Napoli have won 11 straight now.
Oof.
They're top of the league by 8 points. So it's big. Juventus with a 3-0 win over Lazio. They've moved up to 3rd, so they're actually in really good form right now. They've won at least their last 5 straight. Inter beat Atalanta 3-2, so they leapfrog them into 5th, and that's about it, really. Oh, Milan as well. Rafael Leao back in the starting lineup. They're now 2nd, but yeah, as I say, 8 points behind. I think Napoli are looking pretty good for the title right now.
Undefeated Napoli as well. Maybe one of the only. I don't know if PSG lost. I think they did.
I think they're going for a golden Serie A trophy.
There you go. They haven't won in a while at Napoli.
Yeah,
it's been a while. Any action in Bundesliga? Is the Bayern Liga?
It's back to the Bayern Liga. They beat Schalke 2-0, so they're 4 points in first now, going into the break. Freiburg are actually up to 2nd. They beat Union Berlin. The Union magic carpet ride is ending quite quickly. They're down into 5th now. I mean, that's still a great European spot for them, but they held the top position for quite a while, a lot longer than I expected. And the only other kind of surprising thing I had in my notes from this past weekend, Leipzig beat Bremen 2-1. They're in 3rd place now. They were very close to the bottom when Marco Rosa took over, and he's got them up into 3rd going into the break, so that's a great job out of him so far.
Nice. Yeah, Union. Yeah, they've dropped off, huh? And Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso, they're doing pretty good too, right? I think 3 wins in a row for them.
Yeah, they're getting their feet under them now.
Getting it back. And last but not least, PSG's dominating, and they won 5-0. It looks like that's going to be that. Now let's quickly change gears to World Cup squads for a bit before we get into our quiz. Big omissions. Let's look at some big people left out. I've got listed here Tammy Abraham from England. Do you think that's a big miss? Do you think he could have been included? And also Tomori, obviously, also 2 Serie A players. Did Tomori, they deserve it?
Tomori should be in.
Yeah, Tomori should be.
And Abraham is pointless. Pointless any other centre forward going.
True.
It's pointless.
Maybe
there's only one centre forward that's going to play 90 minutes a game, regardless of form. If I was a centre forward in English, like if I was Ivan Toney, I'd be quite happy to take a month off rather than going and sitting out there on the bench for a month. Fuck that.
Yeah. Well, I guess I would think that maybe just like a quick striker, just a poacher type. I don't know who's I mean, I guess Rashford. I guess for
No, it's Callum Wilson, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
it's
what they've gone
Wilson.
for.
Callum Wilson.
Yeah.
He's a pretty big boy, though. No, are you?
No, well, he is, but he's more of your
He's
poacher,
he's
goal
a poacher.
scorer.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There you
So-
go. Well, he's been
I think
included.
the omission of Tony's bigger than Abraham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. There's not. Yeah, Tomori's a really interesting one. Like, I don't know. I've seen him in Europe for Milan, and I don't watch him week in, week out. And is he probably better than Maguire? Well, yeah, probably. But is he better than Maguire in a system that Southgate's going to play? We don't know. Is he better than Maguire on a big European World Cup international football stage? Look, this World Cup with the England squad is the last hurrah for quite a lot of those players. And I think the one thing Southgate is doing reasonably well is integrating youngsters very slowly in friendlies and Nations League stuff, so that next tournament in the Euros, I think that squad will be drastically different.
There's one other thing he's doing really well, and that is curing my insomnia.
Yes, he will send Milo to sleep. We all know that. Yeah. So if we win it, mate, if we win it, I'm not going to be fussed. Make him Sir Gareth, give him Lord of Buckinghamshire or everyone.
Give him the key to England. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
we're
on a
not gonna
5
win it,
a.m.
so it doesn't matter.
kickoff for West Coast guys. They're 5 a.m. kickoff. I think against Iran. I think they start. I can't
Iran
remember.
first. Yeah.
Iran
Yeah,
first.
so next week onwards, the wrap-up show is full World Cup mode, guys.
Yeah, we're going full workout mode.
Yeah,
we'll-
like
we'll be
Vuvuzelas
doing-
and everything.
Yeah, we'll be doing brackets when the knockouts begin, but just guys in chat, be ready for that when it happens. Yeah, I'm trying to think other big omissions. Speaking of Union Berlin for the national team, U.S. men's national team, Zach Steffen and Jordan Pefok. Jordan Pefok from Union Berlin left out. Tim Ream included, 34-year-old Tim Ream.
Ricardo Pepe left out.
Ricardo Pepe left out as well. So interesting decisions. I think Haji Wright was included.
Mhm.
Big striker in Turkey.
He's
Is
lighting
Freddie
it up in Turkey
Adu
right
in?
now.
Freddie
He
Adu?
didn't make the cut. I had a couple German ones. Marco Reus.
He got injured,
I feel
believe.
so bad for
Yeah.
Marco Reus.
Second
He's
World Cup
missed
in a row.
so many big tournaments with Germany from injuries, and he probably has been one of the best German players of the last 10 years. If he wouldn't have been hurt, his career's a big what could have been internationally at least. And Florian Wirtz is coming back from his ACL recovery, so Hansi Flick decided to keep him at home and not call him up and risk any setbacks in his recovery. And I think the biggest one from all of the German squad stuff I was reading, there was a lot of uproar about Mats Hummels not getting called up, which I thought was kind of weird because he's not going to start. I can understand bringing an experienced guy, but do you want to? We were talking about managers respecting players. Do you want to bring an experienced guy like that to be the fifth option at center back? I don't know. That was Flick's biggest move. I think was leaving Hummels at home.
Who did he take instead?
Actually, Bella Kotchap from
nice.
Southampton. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I think I had two notable call-ups, guys that made it. Was Niklas Füllkrug, who doesn't have a senior cap for Germany, but he's the leading scorer in the Bundesliga right now, I believe. I think he has 10 goals. I think Germany would. I think they'll do pretty well with if he actually plays a physical striker like him. And everyone's favorite World Cup winner, Mario Götze's back in the squad after 5 years away from the German national setup.
Wow. Other omissions I have listed here: Thiago Alcantara and David De Gea out of the Spanish team. What do we have? Ryan Gravenberch for Holland. We talked about Bobby Firmino last week quite a bit. and Gabriel as well from Arsenal, not in the Brazilian team. Interesting one I saw here was Ferland Mendy didn't get called up for France, which is interesting. I'm not sure who they play as left back. It'd be Theo Hernandez, I believe.
Yeah,
And
I'd imagine.
I don't know who their backup is, but maybe they're too similar. I don't know.
Is Pavard still in their team?
I was gonna
Yeah, Pavard's
Pavard.
there. He
It might
can't
be.
play on the left. Yeah,
Did they call up
Yeah.
Lucas as well? Lucas Hernandez?
they did. They got both of those guys.
I know
They
he
both-
plays. He plays on the left sometimes too.
Yeah, just want to see who the other left backs they got. Other players. I mean, Sergio Ramos is understandable. One certain, possibly. I mean, I think we can all agree. One of the highest potential players in the world, Jadon Sancho, was left out of the squad as well.
More worryingly, Jack Wilshere is left at home.
Oh, okay. I thought Grealish for a second. I was like, what? Did he? Yeah. So Sancho's just not having a good season, and you guys just remember, when we talk potential, you can have a bad season and still have the highest potential.
What?
I can't lose that argument.
What is Madison's injury status? He's
he's
okay.
fine.
Oh,
He's fine.
Yeah, he's
right.
right. It was taken off as a precaution, and he's travelled with the England squad.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
fine. Because he's our saviour, right? He's our saviour.
Bellingham's in,
James
kept it.
Maddison playing for an adequate Leicester team. He's
Yeah.
like Phil Foden at the Euros or the last World Cup when it was like, oh, everything's going to go amazing because we've got Phil Foden in the squad, and then Southgate didn't play him. That's exactly what's going to happen with Maddison.
I'm upset that they gave Grealish the number 7 jersey and Saka is number 17.
Did they really?
They did,
Huh.
yeah.
No, I didn't see the numbers. Oh wow.
The numbers were released today, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that matters.
I love the
Saka's
Yeah.
going to be playing left wing back, so I don't think it matters.
Oh
Love
God,
numbers.
under Southgate, yeah. Saka at left wing back. What the? Should we talk about that again? What a ridiculous decision. That is.
Looking at the defenders of France: Saliba, Varane, Konate, Disasi, Pavard, Upamecano, then Lucas Hernandez, Theo Hernandez, and Conde. So they usually play at the back three, but I mean, the only attacking fullback I'm seeing here is, I guess, Pavard can get forward, Conde can play right back as well, and Theo Hernandez.
Varane
Interesting.
was the interesting one.
Yeah,
I
Varane's
didn't-
been included as well.
Wasn't sure because he's not declared. Though he's not been declared fit for the World Cup
Mm.
with
Yeah,
his
I
injury
thought-
picked up at United.
I thought
So,
when he got hurt, they said he was going to miss the World Cup.
yeah,
Oh,
and
interesting.
he's travelled
But
with
they
the
did
injury.
include him, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's just
Right.
browse through chat here before we get into our trivia. If you guys have anything else topics you want to talk about, we can.
who's going to win it?
Oh,
Yeah, let's talk about who's gonna win it. Let's forgot about that. I know who I think is gonna win it, and who I'd like to win it.
I've changed who I think is going to win it from my
Ooh.
pre-season prediction.
As have I. Yeah.
Who wants to reveal?
I'm going with
Everyone's
I'm going with Argentina.
I thought you were going to say Arsenal.
Based on what I've said in this show, that would not have been surprising.
Argentina, imagine that. Messi.
Hmm.
In my football manager save, my first save that I was doing, or that I am doing with Arsenal, Argentina did win it after knocking
Oh.
out England. Lionel Messi scored a penalty in the early in the second half to win it for the
Yeah.
1-0.
And then
Ooh.
didn't he score a penalty in the final to win it 1-0 as well?
Yeah,
Goodness
that's
sake, yeah.
that's what I meant. The final. Yeah, he also did score a pen
Yeah.
against England. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I'm going
Brazil.
France. I'm going France.
Ooh, interesting.
Ooh.
Brazil.
I said
Yeah.
France
Alright.
Back to
pre-season.
back.
I just think they've got the world's best striker. I know Lewandowski's still really good, but Benzema will put chances away for them. I think they've got a really solid midfield, a really solid defense, and a goalkeeper that, whilst has a brain fart every so often, is a very good shot stopper. And they look like the strongest cohesion team, but they can always implode, can't they? It's France. They can have a star sign not aligning to the manager's will, and
They've got the experience too.
and they've got the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most
Who's
important,
your
they
pick, Hoff?
don't
I
have
picked
Pogba.
England. I picked England preseason,
Okay.
As did I. Dude.
I think the more I'm looking at the squads and stuff, and just player form, I really would like it. Obviously, I want the U.S. to win. It'll never happen. I would really like to see Belgium win it. I think they could do it too.
Oh no.
Belgium.
Oh no.
Are they still managed by Roberto Martinez?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
apparently
Oh,
he's
no
going to get an
chance.
extension.
No chance.
Apparently,
Absolutely.
apparently they're going to get it.
Really?
I think he has them under some sort of spell type of
Blackmail?
thing. Yeah, there's something funny with Roberto Martinez. Oh, yeah, that's true. Whoever wins this World Cup is gonna, that team's gonna have the front runner for Ballon d'Or as well. Someone wrote KDB Ballon d'Or. Unbelievable.
Obviously, it was
Who
extreme.
will go
obviously.
unnamed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow-up question then.
Oh no,
we've
no,
got
Milo. Who did Milo say? I forgot.
I said Brazil.
Brazil. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think
Sorry.
Brazil. Yeah.
Okay,
So I was just going to say we got 2 Americans, 2 Englishmen in the chat. Where do we think our countries are going? How far are our countries going to go?
I think we're going to snooze our way into the quarterfinals.
Ooh.
I
would-
think.
I would snatch your hand off for a quarterfinal spot, but I think definitely knockouts. And I forget what group we're drawn against for those. I
It's a
think
really
it was.
tough one, isn't it?
I think it was Netherlands that we got. Like if we finish second,
Yeah.
Netherlands won their group, we get Netherlands. So I'll say round of 16 for us. I would love the quarters, but I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah. I wish I was that confident. So we'll play. So we'll play the So Group A winners. So yeah, Netherlands,
Yep.
Senegal, Ecuador, Qatar group. I'm not sure we're gonna get out of the group. I'm not sure. Obviously, I hope we do, but I don't know. I don't know.
You have to go further than Canada, or you're never going to hear the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, I believe we have the talent to do it, but I don't know if we play enough competitive games and things like that. Like we're not in our play. I don't know. It just there's something about the. I feel like we're kind of aiming to the next World Cup at home type of thing to put our really good performance. I
That
don't
we
know.
don't have to qualify for.
Obviously, that's true. That'll be an issue as well. But I don't know. I think I'm being like way too fanboy is like guard myself. We're not getting out of
Who
the
gets
group.
out of the-
Okay.
Who gets out of the group for you then, Kurt? Wales.
I think England and Wales get out. Yeah. I just think playing in Europe and stuff like that is just massive. I mean, that the whole Euro qualifying and now the Nations League, it's like we play CONCACAF, we play Mexico. That's our only game. That's it. And then the rest are friendlies that don't really matter. And all we've been doing basically is just capping a bunch of players that we can cap in like the past 2 years. And I mean, I hope we can get it together. It's not like I don't want them to win or anything. I just don't. I'm not gonna set myself up for that. I really don't have that high hopes for.
What year was it you
States.
went to the? Did you go to the semis?
Oh,
Quarters. Oh no, yes,
quarters.
Semis was a while back. That was 2000. No, I think it was.
Oh, it was quarters. We lost
Quarters.
to Germany in 02.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should have
In
beaten
Korea,
Germany.
right?
Yeah, Torsten
Yeah,
Frings
yeah,
had a
yeah.
handball
Okay.
on the line.
Yeah.
I'm not bitter.
Yeah.
I don't think honestly, I think if there's someone that's not the US finishing second, I wouldn't be shocked if it's Iran. They have some good players. I don't know how much their situation back home plays into their mindset. If it does at all, because I know a lot of them have come out against their current government, but yeah, they have a lot of good players. I know some are hurt right now, like Asmoon's hurt, who's one of their big goal scorers. But they have some quality, and they can they can get a result if Berhalter. I'm mostly worried about Berhalter not taking them seriously. I'm not worried about Southgate because I know they're going to play defensive as is. So
Yeah, that'll be good though.
Yeah, I think England and the US both get out the group. I think England quarterfinals, potentially semis, depending on the route in. But I think the USA get out the group. I think it's a tournament too far for Wales with that same squad. It shows their lack of depth that they've called up Joe Allen. I think,
Allen.
yeah, I think
Gareth
it's
Bale.
a step. I mean, Bale was always going to go, isn't he? And
Yeah.
he will have a dynamite moment probably against England.
Is Ramsey
But-
going?
Ramsey's there, yeah.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. I think it's a step. I think it's one tournament too much for that same Wales squad that's there. But and I can't, anyone with Kiefer Moore leading the line should not qualify from a group in the World Cup. So he's terrible. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean, look, I hope we can get to. It's so big here. It's so big here. I think it's the only football team that I really grew up with. Like outside. There's no clubs. I mean, the Galaxy. You hear a little bit here and this about Galaxy, but it's like the only football club all Americans really know. It's the national team. So yeah, I do get that. I do feel actual like I feel nervous with the United as well, but like, it's because the stakes are so big for U.S. men's national team. I mean, we're gonna talk about it as well next week. But guys in chat, we're gonna watch we're gonna try to watch the World Cup documentary or the FIFA documentary on Netflix. So for next week, we'll probably be talking about that. So if you guys want to watch that and join the discussion, that would be great. But just the way, I saw a bit of the first episode. I think we all. Hoff, did you see the first episode?
I did, yeah.
Okay. Just the way, I mean, this isn't really that related to the documentary, but just the way football influences a country, right? They talk about Sepp Blatter. One of the things he said was, "I'm going to bring the World Cup to Africa," right? So, like, just the way that influences a whole country is pretty big, outside of other things, politics. So like, a World Cup win for the USA is really big for me. I feel like I was playing a high school soccer here, right, is not the coolest thing. It wasn't an easy sport to play, right? Because the whole perception of it was like it's a sissy sport, blah blah blah, and all of that has completely changed. People in high school have come to me after high school and were like, because they saw Germany, saw some Germany World Cup match and Schweinsteiger getting stitches in his head, and they were like, I was totally wrong about soccer, blah blah blah. So just little things like this that change the perception, because United States have so much talent. You look at the Olympics. We're probably the greatest athletic team in the world. I know, guys. You don't have to argue that. I know we all agree. But like, it's such an we have so much talent, and obviously I love soccer, football. So it's if we can develop that, it would just make things great. And hopefully in my lifetime we can at least get to a semifinal or something. It would be nice. It'd be cool. But without these World Cup performances, it's not going to happen. That's my point. So like, it's pretty required that we get some hype about the World Cup. Missing out on the World Cup is massive. Or last time. But yeah, if we can get that, it would be great. Good for the sport. Good for the it'll be good for the Premier League as well. It'll be good for England. Okay, we're thinking about everybody here. More fans, more England, more British money into Britain. Okay, that was
Quiz time?
Yeah, let's do the quiz. I've closed chat, guys. Let's close up chat.
yeah.
All right, chat. I'll keep you open because you can play along if you want. So rapid fire.
Oh yeah, we got words or.
Yeah. For those that don't know, each player will have an activation word. I'll read out. I've got 20 questions, football-based, not too difficult, to be honest. And in order to provide the answer, they have to be the first to say their activation word. which it's worked so far. We haven't had any controversy or VAR needed, so it's been fine. Yeah, just a point for a correct answer. If you get it wrong, we move on to the next closest word. Or if no one knows, then we'll just move on. In general, yeah, pretty easy stuff. So this week's activation words are, for Cartwheel Champ, your activation word is Matt Turner.
Matt Turner. Matt.
Nice.
All right.
Matt.
Can I say Turner?
HoffSpur. Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
I'll go Turner.
Not Jermaine Defoe.
Yeah.
Not Jermaine Defoe.
HoffSpur, your name this week is Kobe Jones.
Yes.
Hey.
Yeah. And Cultured Left Foot, yours is Sir Jeff Hurst.
Oh my god!
Jeff
Why have I got
Hurst.
3?
And I wrote down, if you complain, we'll change it to Jan Vennegoor of Hessling.
I'm gonna go with Jeff. I've met Jeff.
All right.
Hurst. Yeah.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Question 1. Which international footballing side were the inspiration for the phrase total football?
Turner.
Kobe Jones.
Sir Jeff.
That was Hoff.
No, what?
Netherlands.
That
Whoa.
was Kobe Jones.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was Kobe Jones.
What? I got
Going
lag
off.
then. I got crazy lag. All right, go ahead. Getting closer to the mic now. Can you read chat? Did anyone? Can we hear? Can we get a who got first in chat? Here you go.
Just as an impartial person here, I thought Hoff said it first.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with my connection then.
You know, guys, if you love controversy, go back and watch the VOD.
Clip it.
afterwards.
Okay.
Hoff, go for it. Kobe Jones.
Oh, I thought I said it.
He
Did I
said,
not?
he did. Yeah, you did say.
He got it.
Good.
Yeah,
You
he
did?
got it.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
there we go. All right, question 2. Oh my God. How many Premier League titles have Man United won?
Turner.
Sir Jeff.
That was Cultured.
Dude, there's crazy lag.
20.
There's actual lag. There's lag. There's actual lag.
Did you say 20?
20, but it's 21, isn't it?
You're
No,
wrong.
it's 20.
It's over to Cartwheel.
Wait, he said 20? You said 20 or 21?
He
I
said 20.
can't divulge that information.
He said what?
I didn't. I can't tell you what I said. You should have been listening.
How many
Yeah,
Premier League?
how many Premier League titles?
He
have
said
you
20 and he got it wrong.
won? He did, yeah.
Are you sure you have? When is this quiz from?
Yeah, I'm pretty
mean-
sure I'm right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's right too.
Are you?
Yeah.
Van Persie
Hang on,
was the
please.
20th.
Hold, please.
Sorry. Wait, I'm gonna look at chat briefly.
No, you
That was
haven't. So
Card
Premier
again.
League,
Card
Premier
had it
League-
first.
Premier
Look,
League title.
they wrote it. All right, I'm just saying they wrote.
You're all incorrect. The
Oh,
answer is
Premier
13.
League titles. Yeah. Oh,
The answer is 13. So
Oh,
you're both
Premier
wrong.
League.
Premier League.
Okay,
That's what I said.
I thought you were saying league
Kobe Jones,
titles.
13.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Maybe there's something up with my
Oh,
connection.
wait, did you know?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
No,
good.
I
I was
Right,
going to
Sorry.
guess 17, but I have no
All right,
I have no
all right.
idea.
So far, we've got through 2 questions. You guys are not taking the rapid fire quiz the right way
Rapidly.
so far this week.
Rapido.
Absolute
All right.
carnage out here. All right. Who was the goalkeeper when Diego Maradona scored his hand of God goal versus England?
Sir Jeff.
Cultured?
Peter Shilton.
Correct.
Nice one.
All right. For which Brazilian club team did Pele play most of his career?
Turner.
Kobe Jones.
That was half.
Yeah, dude. There's something off with the thing. There's something off with the thing. I swear to God, there's something off with the thing. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna type in Discord when I ring in. Okay, and you'll see the delay.
You
Watch
won
this.
last week with the same setup. You won, right?
No, I know, but ask chat. Look at chat. Chat. Can anybody confirm? Can anyone confirm?
It's your Twitch channel. They're all your followers. They're gonna say you.
No, are you kidding me? They hate me. No, they don't hate me. But you know, like, okay, look, watch. I'm gonna say. Can you look at Discord real quick? Just look at it. All right, I'm gonna type in the group chat. Ready? I'm gonna say now, and then I'm gonna hit, at the same time hit enter. Now.
Okay. Yeah.
That was instant.
That was instant. Yeah, the same.
I don't know what's going on then.
But like you won last week with the same setup. There was nothing different.
There's some delay in the between my browser and you guys. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
What is what it is.
Okay.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Right. Toby Jones, would you like to answer the bloody question?
Santos.
Santos is correct. All right. Which Spanish side did Gary Neville become manager of in
Turner.
2015? That was Sir Jeff.
I said,
Dude, that was definitely me by a long way.
It was definitely you.
oh my god, dude, I'm losing. I said it. I purposely said it early before you finished. This is crazy.
Valencia.
This is
Go on.
crazy.
Cultured.
Valencia.
Correct. Okay. Dare I ask the next question? Gary Lineker joined Barcelona from which club?
Sir Jeff.
Cultured.
Tottenham.
Incorrect.
Oh.
I thought Culture was gonna get that. I also don't know.
Okay.
Kobe
Off you-
Jones.
Yeah, go on.
I don't even know if he played for them. Leicester?
He did play for Leicester, but it wasn't Leicester. It was Everton.
Okay.
It was Everton, yeah. At which club did Sir Alex Ferguson manage directly before
Turner.
joining Man United?
Turner.
Cartwheel champ.
Jesus, Aberdeen.
Aberdeen
I have
is
to guess
correct.
on these now. I have to guess on the question now, just so you know. I'm just saying.
Which Italian club did Paul Gascoigne play for?
Sir
Turner.
That was
It's,
Cultured.
it's gonna go to Cultured. I knew it because we said it at the same time, and we said it. I said we probably said it at the same time. I'm just saying. Okay, sorry.
Cultured.
Lag, bro.
Cultured. Who is it?
Lazio.
Lazio is correct.
Yeah.
All right. What is Stoke City's nickname?
Sir Jeff.
Cultured.
The Potters.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, I know that.
Which team has won the most FA Cup finals?
Turner.
Kobe Jones.
Oh my God.
If you give that to Hoff, I'm gonna lose my shit.
That was Cart.
That was
All right.
No, you guys don't understand like how early I said that compared to when I heard Hoff.
I heard it the same time I said it. Heard you the same time I said it.
Yeah, I know.
Really? So
There's some lag stuff here.
Yeah.
All right, there it is
Arsenal.
then. Yeah,
Arsenal.
okay.
Arsenal.
Arsenal is correct. Cartwheel. I don't know how we fix that. So I guess
I don't want to refresh the thing. I don't
No.
want to do that.
Oh,
I don't want
yeah,
to.
yeah.
No, not the stream. The
yeah,
Stream.
StreamYard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it.
All right. What does VAR stand for?
Kobe Jones.
Oh,
Hoff?
nice.
Video assistant referee.
Correct.
Oh, Hoff, that was rapid. Oh, Cart's
was.
refreshed his stream.
I'm
He's
just
moving
trying to
his spot.
take
moving
me out
around.
and in. I'm just trying to move me out and move it just to make sure.
Mind games. Mourinho shithousery.
Yeah.
All right. Who said famously, "I spent a lot of money on booze, birds, and fast cars.
Jeff.
The rest." Go on, Culture.
George Best.
Correct.
Oh, nice one.
Who's the only player to win the Champions League with 3 different clubs?
Turner.
Yes, Cartman.
Wait, did I say Turner?
Yes.
Yes.
No one else said it.
No, I know the answer to this.
We've had this before, for sure, during Warriors hockey night.
Oh, why did I see that was a preemptive, a little preemptive for me.
Really?
I'll just go with Seedorf.
Correct.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who's the only player to have scored a hat trick in the Premier League, all 3 divisions of the
Turner.
English Football League? Go on.
Vardy?
No.
Oh.
All 3 divisions of the English Football League, the League Cup, the FA Cup, and for his country.
Oh my.
Sir Jeff.
Go on, Culture.
Steve Finnan.
Not Steve Finnan. I'm going to give you guys a clue,
Ooh.
and you can buzz in again.
Hold on.
Actually, Hoff has Hoff.
hasn't
Yeah.
had an answer yet, yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Go on, Hoff. My bad.
Peter Crouch.
Not Peter Crouch. He is Welsh.
Ooh, Kobe Jones.
Go on.
Idea. Hal Robson Kanu.
No.
Damn.
Sir Jeff.
So Jeff.
I mean, I hate him, so I'm going Kiefer Moore.
No.
No, it's a hat trick.
Wait.
No, it can't be him.
You said hat trick in second or the League One Championship, Premier League.
Yeah. League Cup, FA Cup, and for his country, which is Wales.
Oh, I already guessed. I can't guess again. All right.
This is the toughest question on the quiz.
Okay, yeah, I'll Gareth Bale. I don't know.
No, the answer is Robert Earnshaw.
Oh, that's a good one. Wow.
Who did David Beckham kick out at when he was sent off in the '98 World Cup?
So Jeff,
Turner.
Cultured.
That's cultured. That was cultured. Put my How far behind cultured was I though from you guys' side?
It was close, but it was noticeable.
Okay. There's still a little delay then.
Who you got, Cultured?
The delay's got me.
No.
Whoa, Turner.
Turner.
Wait, what did you say?
Who did Beckham kick out at in the '98 World Cup?
No. What did cultured say?
He said. Who did
The wrong answer.
He said
I said the wrong
Pochettino.
answer. I said the wrong
Simeone.
answer.
Simeone is correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. I knew it was a manager.
All right, there's only a couple of questions left.
All
Where
right.
do Rangers play their home games?
So
Turner.
Jeff,
Cultured.
Ibrox.
Correct. Where was the 1982 World Cup held?
Turner.
Go on, Cartwheel.
Spain.
Yes, well done.
Documentary.
Who won the 2019 Women's Ballon d'Or?
Kobe Jones.
Go on, Huff.
Pateas.
No.
Oh, she won. Damn it.
Turner.
Go on.
Morgan.
No. Culture. That
So
was
Jeff, there was the Brazilian woman. And
I
can't
know the
remember her
Brazilian
name.
woman. That's what I was gonna say.
It's not the Brazilian woman.
Oh, you
so
can't
that
say
would have
that.
been my guess. That would have been my guess. So,
It was Megan Rapinoe.
Oh.
Rapinoe. And finally,
I got
what
it
is
wrong.
David Beckham's football team called?
Kobe Jones. Turner.
I think that was half.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It was
what?
Inter
Go on then,
Miami.
Hal.
Inter Miami is correct.
me. Okay.
All right. So,
Jesus.
really close this week. In third place is Hoff with 4 points. In second place is CulturedLeftFoot with 5 points. And Cultured with 6 points.
Oh, that's a
Pretty
tight
close.
game. I'm just gonna
Great
say
game.
my
Very
ping was
tough.
like over 500 or something, dude. It was like that was crazy.
12 ping, bro. 12 ping.
Jesus.
13 ping.
13 ping.
13 ping.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Good quiz. Good quiz.
I didn't
Oh,
read
boy.
those. I just, as I heard them, you know what I mean?
No. It's all good. It's all good. I just, I yell it just randomly. Nice.
Cart's already browsing for a new bit of software rather than StreamYard to make sure there's no lag.
Yeah.
No input delay.
New internet, who dis next week for sure. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, guys. Anything else you want to add? Plug?
Yeah, come by the stream, see Football Manager, F1
Check out
Manager,
the stream.
Days Gone, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
out
where to
YouTube,
find
I'm
me.
on it.
Yeah. The plug section is meh.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out. Do we have a dad joke, Milo?
Of course, yeah.
We got one. All right, let's do the dad joke.
What do dentists call their X-rays?
What are they called?
Toothpicks.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Is that lag or you just didn't get it?
That's
Nice.
that was
Should
good.
I
That was good.
should I stay
That's
up and
good.
play FM now or should I not? That's the
The
question.
answer's always
Jealous.
I don't know.
I'm tempted.
Guys, watch the Netflix
Come on,
documentary
England.
chat. Yeah, England will be.
Yeah.
We'll be discussing England's first game. 5 a.m. for us on the West Coast.
There's only a handful of 5 a.m. games. I didn't realize that.
Only
I'm sorry,
for the
5
group.
a.m. games for me. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 a.m. and 5 a.m.
Which day is that?
Monday. So it'll be
Monday
before
for you,
this,
5 a.m.
before the
Monday.
show.
Oh, excellent. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got we've got 2 o'clock games well, 2 o'clock for me all of our group games. It's very nice.
Yeah. So your 5 a.m. is our 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that game's out of the question pretty much. Though, I'm probably gonna just yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to resist.
Are you guys as excited as you normally would be?
No, but I was chatting about this with my friend. I'm
Yeah,
not.
me too.
Yeah, we forgot to talk
I think I
about that.
will once it starts. I think the hype will get me, and I'll be well in for it. But it just
What,
doesn't feel
Qatar
right.
versus Ecuador is going to light a fire under you?
Well, I think because it's the start of the World Cup, so I think it will.
No, I
think
know.
it will get me interested. But yeah, it's tough to get interested.
I barely watched the last one. I've watched maybe a handful of matches. I didn't even watch the final. I just had no interest. The U.S. wasn't playing. It was in Russia, so the times were kind of weird. I wasn't about it. But now that the U.S. is back, I guess they're my gateway drug into it. But and I'm also more into it now than I was back then. International, I will always prefer club over international, but there's something to be said when there's a break. Well, and it's in the middle of the fucking season, which is dumb, but there's something to be said when like everyone is watching the same thing for a month. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I just don't know if it's just the timings is the only thing, right? The early games is I'll be a little disconnected from, so I'll be a little bit of like